Hello guys, Emmanuel here. Welcome to another chapter of the Know Your Node series. This time we're going to talk about the directional warp. I'm going to explain how it works and some examples of how to use it. So let's get started. The directional warp has two parameters, the intensity and the warp angle. The intensity is how strong the warp will be, and the warp angle is the direction of the effect. The node also has two inputs. The first input is the map that will be affected by the warp, and the second input is the percentage of the intensity that will be applied at a pixel level. This percentage is based on luminance, so full black means no warp or 0%, and full white means the intensity will be applied at 100%. For example, if we put a square in the first input and a gradient linear in the second, and then increase the intensity, we can see how the square is moving to the left at a greater rate at the top than the bottom. That is because the gradient linear has a white at the top and the black at the bottom. Now, if we change the warp angle to 90 and increase the intensity, we can see how the square is moving up. And again, the top half is moving faster than the bottom half. Now let's talk about examples. The first usage is to create lines. For example, here I have a uniform color full white, then I have a blend, and I'm only taking the top half of the uniform color, creating this map. And on the other side I have a gradient linear with a rotation of 90, and I have a curve node that is defining a profile, as you can see here. We connect the blend in the first input and the curve in the second one, and increase the intensity, and we'll get something like this. After that, we can add an edge detect, and here we have a line. This line can be fully controlled with this curve node, so we can modify the profile as we want to. The next example is how we can use the directional warp to deform shapes. For example, I have here a disk and a paraboloid. I transform the shape of the paraboloid a little bit, and then if we increase the directional warp, we can add a curvature to the shape. Sometimes this shape deformation can be easier to control if we use gradients, like in the first example that we saw, in which we have a simple square and a gradient linear, and we can add this kind of deformation. Or we can use a curve node over a gradient with a specific profile and control the deformation a little bit more. And even we can have a stair-step grayscale that will help us break the shape, as you can see here. Another way to use this node, and actually a quite popular one, is to use it to break noise continuity in tiles, rocks, or other tileable patterns. That adds an extra level of realism and is really easy to implement. All you need to do is, to the noise, add a luminance variation of the pattern that you are using, increase the intensity, and as you can see here, the pattern of the noise will break. The final example of how to use this node is to create stains. For example, here we have a circular shape and a moisture noise, and if we increase the intensity a lot, we can have this kind of shape that is similar to a blood stain. And if we change the moisture noise for a perlin noise, we have maybe a water stain or something similar. Remember, these are only some examples of how to use this node. If you know of another one, please let me know in the comments of this video. Well, that's all for now. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you have any question, feedback, or idea for a tutorial, let me know in the comments.
Good luck!